MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Hot Takes with me, hosted by the Murph Man, where life gets real and the mic stays hot. That's right, your favorite is experienced, Dad. Yeah, that smart and funny guy. From classroom chalk to comedy clubs, Murph Man breaks it down with brainy thuds. Parenting stress or college mess, he's been through it all, no need to guess. Insights are sharp and data's tight. Rants all ready and the jokes are light. Hot takes, real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, laugh a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Honest, funny, maybe loud. Never scared to stand out proud. When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The rants are ready and the jokes are light. Hot takes, real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, laugh a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's time for Murph Man to start the show.
In a world drowning in data and dread, two men rise, not as saviors or scholars, but as the Murph Man and Connor. Witness their journey as they navigate the treacherous waters of, well, whatever they feel like talking about. Prepare for Hot Takes with the Murph Man, where opinions are strong, facts are optional, and personal experiences are the name of the game. They're not experts, but they play them on this show. Their passion isn't a performance, it's who they are. And sometimes that authenticity means a little adult language might slip out. They apologize for that ahead of time, promising to keep it minimal, but their reactions are always genuine. Now grab your coffee, sit back, and enjoy the show. Here are the Murph Man and Connor.
All right. Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murph Man and Connor here. How are you doing today, Connor?
Good. How are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been doing a lot of interesting things this week.
Like what?
Well, we're going to be launching a new segment this week called the Digital Inferno. And we're going to be talking about the marketplace, which I'll talk about in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to be starting a whole series on social media. I got that ready to go. So right now I have approximately a weekly post until January 30th to second week of February. So I already
Okay.
planned that ahead of time.
Well, like
So
2.5 months.
yeah, 2.5 months, I guess you could say, right?
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Mm.
And then we're also streaming live on TikTok. Woohoo!
I see that.
Yeah. So got a lot going on. I gotta tell you, TikTok is one of those things that I'm still learning how to use.
Mm-hmm.
But on Tuesday, I had 15 followers, and today I have 240, I think. So that's a big jump in my numbers. So I'm looking forward to being here and seeing what we can do today. Let me tell you all a little bit about. First, I want to go anywhere. I want to talk about the marketplace. What's the marketplace? Well, have you heard of Obamacare?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what the actual name of that is?
No.
It's the Affordable Care Act. And one of the things that happened was years ago when Obama was in office, he created this, but it created a problem where about 80% of all medical services are owned by 3 companies. So what ended up happening is they started charging more. Okay. Because what happened with the Affordable Care Act, it told the people, hey, don't it tells the states, this is how much you're gonna get paid by us. So doctors were like, okay, we're not really making any money anymore. So as companies took over, they took over the pharmacy part, they took over the lab part, they took over the diagnostic part. And now it's owned by 3 companies. So no matter where we spend our money, everything's going to the same people. Okay. And right now with the government shutdown, one of the things that they were talking about was the fact that the Democrats wanted us to not lose our Affordable Care Act subsidies. And the Republicans were saying Affordable Care Act is used by illegals. And we've talked about this before. That's one of the sticky points of the thing. But this past weekend, I was at an event at the Kaleidoscope Art Market over at the Coliseum. We had the Dia de los Muertos celebration. And we had some vendors there, and one of them was from the Affordable Care Act. And I asked him, would you be willing to come on camera with me and talk about this? He said, definitely, that's something we can do. So we're looking at that. And I asked him this simple question. Right now is open enrollment, meaning between October 15th to December 1st, you can enroll in different plans for healthcare, right? And I told him, how am I supposed to apply for different plans to get a discount if the budget hasn't been approved? Because that's the whole sticky point right now. And he told me something I did not know. He said that the budget for the Affordable Care Act has been approved 2 years in advance. So 1 year ago, we approved the budget for this year and next year. So the Affordable Care Act is still going on strong. So if you haven't applied to Affordable Care Act, you have to December 1st to get your application in and apply and find out what your discount is for your insurance. One of those things that people used to say is, I'm worried that if I don't have insurance, I'm going to get penalized. Did you know that? That was something that they actually said. So they forced everybody to get insurance because they were trying to save money from the government. So we wouldn't go and try to get free help and all that. And they actually had a fine that they'd impose on you on your taxes when you didn't submit the 1095 form. Pretty crazy. Anyway, now there's no fine. So there's something you have to think about. If you're paying for insurance and you never use it, a lot of people say, well, I never want to have insurance. But one time that you get sick, I broke my pinky toe. And that cost me, I think it was $800.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that's what the bill was. I didn't pay it because I have insurance with the VA. You got injured at work, had a stitch. 2 stitches? We said 3.
3.
How much was that bill? Do you remember?
5,000.
It was a little more. It was $6,600.
Okay.
So I asked myself, is insurance worth it? On those small times that it is, you're going to be glad you have it. And you can actually get a plan that actually has telehealth. Do you know what that is?
The virtual doctors.
Virtual doctors, you guys. The virtual doctors, you actually can talk to a doctor online. And one time, can I talk about what you had when you got sick?
No.
No?
No.
Because it's how they looked at in your mouth. Do you remember the camera?
Yes, I remember.
So he had a sore throat. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing.
I know.
And the doctor's like, is your throat red? And Connor's like, I don't know, I can't see it. So we actually went and got the webcam and held it to our mouth so they could look inside. Do you remember that?
I remember.
So obviously, telehealth, if you have a situation like you have ears that are draining or you have a lot of phlegm and stuff, the doctor needs to see you. But if the doctor says, okay, here's your symptoms, here's your medication, done. A lot of insurance plans have telehealth. So look for those plans and see if that's something you want to do. Okay. Telehealth is something I love. I love. Doc Tegrity is one that I had with my program when I used to work with Geeks to Drink. Cost me $10 a month. I called them for stupid stuff. Hey, you know what? I have a really bad headache. I've had it for like 3 days. Okay, well, take Tylenol. All right. You know, obviously I didn't abuse it, but this is an example, right? You never know what you have. I might have a tumor. You know, if you look at WebMD, I know you never have, but if you ever looked up your symptoms on WebMD, it always comes out with, you could have this, or it could be cancer. It's always like the third or fourth option. So everyone panics when they go to WebMD. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about your transitioning to college. So are you ready to ignite the fuse, Connor?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murph Man. Today you're watching episode number 15, Transitioning to College, How to Start Your Next Chapter with Confidence. The leap from high school to college is more than a change of address. It's a full-on life pivot. This episode is your launch pad for navigating that transition with intention, confidence, and a game plan. It's about building a new life for yourself, not just moving your stuff. So let's get the show started. Here are the Murph Man and Connor.
That's right, Connor. How are we doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I am doing great. So the transition to college, that was something that you have to do. And I don't know if you've been able to do that yet. You know, do you feel you've transitioned in well from high school?
Yeah, I would say so.
What would you think was your hardest transition?
Honestly, just a new school. That's it. Just trying to get my schedule down. That was the only thing.
Learning your schedule. That's always a hard thing to do, right?
Yeah.
That's always a hard thing to do. And it's one of those things that you have to ask yourself, what are you going to be doing? And how is it going to apply to us, right? So be careful with that because you never know. You know, let's see. I'm always stressed. Okay. Did I need everything structured? Yeah. Okay. All right. So as we're doing this, we're going to talk about what it takes to actually transition into college from high school. And we're going to be talking about all those things that will help you. All right. And I'm obviously going to be asking you, do you think they help or not? You know, so we'll see. But I think we need to get to the question on everyone's mind today. It's time for the burning question.
Here is today's burning question. What is the term for the ability to recognize your own needs and confidently seek out support, whether it's academic, emotional, or logistical? Is it A, a college launch plan, B, orientation, or C, self-advocacy? Let's find out what the answer is from the Murph Man.
What do you think the answer is, Connor?
I think it's C.
Self-advocacy.
Yeah.
You're alone in college. There's no one that's going to do it for you. You don't have your parents on you. You don't have your counselors on you. You don't have your teacher on either. You do it by yourself or you don't. Okay, it's a skill that all college students need. You need to be able to deal with the fact that professors and advisors aren't going to help you like they did in high school. All right, you have to ask for help when you need it. That's probably the hardest lesson for anyone to learn. So I'm hoping that is something that we can definitely do as we get older, is ask for help, because that is the hardest thing that we can do. And how would you agree with that, Connor? Do you think it's hard for you to ask for help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like asking for help.
I don't
like talking.
Well, I know you don't like talking, but asking for help is something we all have to do. And just the other day, you told me, hey, I'm going to go to such and such's house and we're going to do a study group. And you were studying what? Pre-cal?
Pre-cal and chemistry, yeah.
You know, that's awesome. You know, you had to do that. Whose idea was it? Do you know? Do you remember?
No.
No, you don't remember? Of course you don't. Well, let me tell you this, all right? It doesn't matter who came up with it. It's the fact that you accepted it, because that's the second part of the equation here. Asking for help is hard, but accepting the help when offered is something that everyone needs to look at, because it's hard to say, I'm vulnerable. That's what you're really saying when you're asking for help. I'm vulnerable, all right? And asking for help and accepting the help is the hardest thing to do. Like, one of the things that we did talk about, and we've been talking about, is veteran suicide. You know, there's a real life situation. I still don't know the outcome, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to mention his name. But this guy went on Facebook and said, like 5 days ago, right? He goes, I was in the emergency in ICU. I was in the hospital for 2 days, and not one of you cared enough to check on me. 3 days later, he posts, my wife has left me. I have nothing to live for. I'm going to kill myself. Here's my address. You can find me in the bathtub. The door's open. What do you think everyone did with that?
They went to his house.
Well, I don't know. No one actually, no one lived in his town that was responding. So everybody was calling 911. Now, not funny, haha, but did you know if you call 911 here, they can transfer you to a 911 in Vegas, for example? Right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you call 911 and it's local, but they can transfer you to help in another city. So people calling 911 and they were asking for welfare checks. They were emailing the guy. They were messaging him. They're waiting for something to happen. And no one really posted anything. You know, no one gave an update on his case. And maybe right now when we take a break, I'll look at that and see if anything, you know, see if there's been an update.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just sad that he's out here saying none of you cared. And of course, people wrote back, we care, you know. But his mind was made up to kill himself. There was nothing anyone can do, right? You guys, I keep saying this, and I'm going to play a video in a little bit after our today's hot take, but get help. 988, get help. All right, you want to be there and you want to get the help for anyone. The 988 is a suicide hotline. Veterans, press 1, and you talk with a live person 24/7, 365. You cannot do better than that. So be aware of people around you that need help. And remember, if you think someone's suicidal, ask them if they're suicidal. Because again, we talked about hard to ask for help, hard to accept help, right? And going in the, what's it called? Sorry. Going into a situation where someone might be suicidal and they don't know how to ask for help, asking them if they're suicidal is the first step, and it gets you that step that you need. You know what I mean?
Like, I guess, yeah.
Did you know I don't know the exact rate, but the first year of college is so stressful, a lot of kids just kill themselves. Okay. That they just don't ask for help. They're so overwhelmed by it that they commit suicide. They unalive themselves. That's what the new phrase is, right? So that transition to college, we're going to talk about that specifically, but it's not just a transition to college. It's a transition from where you are now to where you're going, all right? And understand that it's one of those things that a lot of people have to cope with. And if you don't have the skills growing up to cope with it as an adult, you're going to have a more difficult time. And the other thing is, as you get older, you have more experience and you're able to solve different problems, right? But when someone's young, they leave home for the first time. and they don't make friends. They don't do any of the activities. They haven't listened to the Hot Takes with the Murphman podcast, right?
Mhm.
They are isolated, and we don't want that. What have I told you? Make friends, join groups, fraternities, whatever, right? Why is that important? Because that helps you transition into college. Our niece, she's a student body government president or whatever her actual position is. And it's interesting because as she started, she had never been to college before, but she got involved right away and became the president as a junior, which I think is pretty awesome. So you never know where you're going to be and who's going to be there to help you. But the only way you're going to get the help is if you start making friends and going out. That's one of those things. But I think we need to get to today's hot take. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, sounds
All right,
good.
here's today's hot take.
Ready for today's hot take? Well, here it is. The leap from high school to college is a full-on life pivot, and you can't just wing it. The key to a successful transition is having an intentional plan for your first month on campus. Like the Murph man is always saying, you have to have a plan.
You have to have a plan, you guys. That's one of the most important things here. High school is difficult for a lot of reasons, and then it ends, and then now you're in college, and you have to be responsible. You have to pay for yourself. A lot of people have to get apartments. So, you have to have a plan. You can't just wing it. There was one thing that we talked about here in El Paso. Connor was like, okay, should I get a dorm? And I said, actually, there's a place near college that is $700 a month, utilities included, and you can have your own apartment, actual real life apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. So we were talking about doing that. January's right around the corner. I don't want to kick you out. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's one of those things where you would have to take a step and live on your own. What does that mean? Cooking, cleaning, transportation, everything is on your own. So that's one of those things that is very difficult. And if you're in a dorm and you've never lived with anybody and you have to share with 1, 2, or 3 people, that transition can be very difficult. There's so many different things that you have to worry about in the transition to college or the Army. I had never lived I lived with my brothers and my mom, but I joined the Army, and in basic training, there's 20 or 30 of us in a room, and we all have to sleep together. People farting, people snoring. It's a transition. And then you have those idiots that don't do what they're supposed to be doing, and they get everyone in trouble. So I get in trouble for someone else. So that's a transition that, to get into that. But the hardest transition for me, and I've shared this with you, is when we went to the National Training Center at Fort Irwin, California. You go there for a month at a time, and you're in the field. But when you're back in base, they have bathrooms and showers for us, right? Because in the field, you don't have that. I sat down. I went to the restroom the first time, and there's like 15 or 20 toilets all lined up. No walls, no nothing, right? So I went and I sat in the middle. Hey, that's what I want, just as far away from everybody that I can. Some guy comes in, sits down right next to me to do his business. Like, why? And it was such a hard thing for me to get used to that it was just weird. Being in college and having to share a room constantly with someone that I don't even know. What happens if you don't like that person? What happens if they have issues that you can't understand, or a language barrier? So, there's so many different things. So we're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. All right, but right now we're going to watch a video on veteran suicide. This applies to everybody. Please pay attention.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
According to the VA's suicide data report, an average of 22 veterans die by suicide every single day. This figure is a sobering reality and a crisis that demands our immediate attention and compassion. We must recognize and address the fact that every 24 hours, 22 veterans are losing their lives to suicide. The war doesn't always end when our veterans come home. The invisible wounds they carry, wounds that are real and heavy, require continuous support. No veteran should have to carry this burden alone. Many veterans experience stress and disconnection as they navigate life after service. But there is hope, there is help, and you are not alone in this fight. There's a vibrant community ready to support you, offering friendship, understanding, and shared experiences. You served your country, now let us serve you. Don't fight the toughest battle in silence. Your mission now is to reach out. Dial 988, then press 1. Text them at 838255. The Veterans Crisis Line is available 24/7. Every day, we save lives. Your life is invaluable, and your service is honored. Let's work together to make 22-0 again. No veteran should face their struggles alone. Together, we can ensure every veteran finds the support and hope they deserve.
He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, "This is a man's best friend." Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Before we jump back in, a quick reminder of where to find us. For all the short clips and highlights, make sure you're following us on social media. You can find all the show details on our website, purehottakes.com. And for full show replays and exclusive premium content you won't hear anywhere else, be sure to subscribe at stream915.com.
Wow. During the break, I just found out something, Connor.
What?
Because I said the unalive word, I got restricted on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But I was educating.
It doesn't matter.
Just using the word.
Yes.
No one can talk about it.
They don't know you're educating.
Well, I know that.
So.
But I'm just like, what? Now, I knew that was an issue. That's why I said unalive when I remembered. But it's literally unalive awareness, right? So, you guys, I hope you like that video. Remember, dial 988, get some help. If you're at college, where could you go at college, Connor?
The counselors, the health awareness center.
Bingo.
That's it.
Two options. Well, your teachers, your friends. There's more, but primarily your counselors and your health clinic. What do you call it?
Mental health
No.
center. I don't know.
Is it a mental health center?
I've never been. I don't know the name.
I know you haven't been, but you at least know the resources there, right? The health clinic, whatever you want to call it.
I guess.
Yes. All right. So, yeah, it's one of those things that as we go on in life, the counselors are just always going to be there to help us. Now, you said, I never needed it. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting help. Not that you need it. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling them, there's nothing wrong with getting help. All right. You can get help and no one has to know anything. Now, what's really funny is when you go get help and you're in the lobby and another person comes in, or you're walking out and they're coming in and you know them. It's very awkward. As a counselor, that happened to a lot of my kids because they went to a lot of the same schools. So I would call one kid into the school and I'd wait for them to leave before I got the next one, you know, because I don't want them to cross each other in the hallway or anything. I did everything I could to keep their privacy.
Mm. Wow.
Because the other thing is, there's sometimes I was working with situations where people were all involved in the same situation, and I was helping the victim, and I was helping the perpetrator. I was helping one to deal with it and one to not do it again. So I want to make sure those people never cross paths, you know. But yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, just get some help, you guys. All right. But let's talk about some of the terms we're going to be talking about today, you guys, and laying down the coals.
Before we dig in, let's lay down the coals and clarify some of the key terms we'll be using today. College Launch Plan. This is your personalized checklist of tasks, goals, and habits to help you settle into college life during that first month. Orientation. This is the structured program designed to introduce you to campus resources, academic expectations, and social opportunities. Go to it. Self-advocacy. As we discussed, this is your ability to recognize your needs and confidently ask for support.
All right, you guys. Well, the first thing you want to do is realize that this is a launch plan. We've talked about this before, the launch pad, right? Now you have to have a plan. Your personalized checklist on tasks, goals, and habits you need to keep track of. It's one of those things that you need to there's too much that you have to do. Like, for example, FAFSA opened October 1st, right? Scholarships, all that. And we applied, right? It took a while, right? But it has to be done. And the sooner you do it, the better. Okay. Because, you know, before you know it, it's a month and a half has passed, and, you know, you might lose it. So be aware of that. Also, go to the orientation. You know, people say I don't need it. Is that true?
Kind of, but not really.
What's the one thing that you get out of orientation?
I don't know.
You talk to your advisors and you make your schedule.
Oh, well.
You can't do that unless you go to orientation. So think about that. Remember your friends that had to go to the late night one or whatever it was because they didn't go when they were supposed to? That's what happens, all right? Yeah, it was funny because his friends met us not met us, but they came in the restaurant. We were there. They sat down with us. We all ordered our food. And the kid ended up paying for us, which I thought was really cool. What was his name?
Jace.
Jace, yeah. So, Jace, thank you if you see this. Appreciate it. But I was like, what do you guys do? No, we're here to get our shots in orientation. I'm like, school starts Monday. You know, it was like a Thursday. It was a Tuesday because we went on Tuesday. And they're like, I know. We just waited till last minute. Well, it wasn't Jace. It was his friend that was with him. But anyway, the point being is you got to have that plan. You got to go to orientation and make sure you do that. And, of course, we have the term self-advocacy, as we already discussed. This is your ability to recognize your needs and the community and the help you can get. Okay, that's very important, you guys. Understand that you have to do all this. It's not something that you just can avoid. You have to do it all. Because if you don't, you're not going to get what you need. Right?
Yeah.
And another thing is, as we talk about this, you know, I like to give you guys a story from the fire is what we call it. It's just the first, just an idea to get it out there so you know what we're referring to. So here's the story from the fire.
In today's story from the fire, we want you to meet Brianna. She's excited about college, but totally overwhelmed. Instead of just showing up, she creates a launch plan. She maps out her class locations, joins a campus Discord group online before she even arrives, and sets a small goal to attend 2 club meetings in her first week. By the end of the month, she's not just surviving, she's thriving.
How does it sound to you, Connor? She's not surviving, she's thriving. Right?
Mm.
How does that sound?
I don't know. Motivational, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, the thing is that, you know, Brianna was the ideal person. She did everything right. And that's not how life works. Right?
Yeah.
But the phrase of surviving, I think, is very interesting because sometimes you feel you're underwater. And it's very hard to make that transition out of anything, right? We talked about stress before. Even good stress is stressful. It's going to cause problems with you. And you need to be able to go over there. As I always say, go over there. You need to go and get some help. All right. You never know what's going to happen with that. And that's what's so interesting here is that self-advocacy is so important because you are alone, but you're not alone. Okay. And what's interesting when I think about that is Brianna, like I said, is not your typical college student, but orientation tells you to do these things. And you hear from school counselors a lot of different things going on. So ask yourself, what is the next step? Always, what's the next step? Like right now, what's next for you, Connor, when it comes to college?
Getting my schedule for next semester. That's it.
And you have an appointment next week, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully it's a schedule that fits your schedule, right? Are you going to start taking classes at night? Or are you going to try to keep it during the day?
I don't know. Mostly during the day, but if I have to take it at night, it gives me time to study and get my stuff figured out with the gaps I have. I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean.
Well, if you go to school at night, you study during the day. If you go to school during the day, you study at night. It's the same time. Nothing changes. But what changes is how often you have to transport yourself to the college.
Or I just stay there the whole day.
Or you stay there the whole day. And, that's one of those things that you have to look at. Okay.
Yeah.
I wish you luck with your schedule.
Thank you.
And you're going to be starting some new classes because like engineering is not a 2-year, it's not a 2-semester class. It's a 1. So you get that one class that you get out of the way, right? Like music appreciation. I know that's what you wanted to take, right? It wasn't music, it was jazz. What was it?
I don't remember what music I wanted to take.
Yeah, but I
didn't want it. I just have to.
What he means is you only have a selection of so many classes you can take, right? And if one of them is fine arts, we've talked about this, like you don't want to do drama, you don't want to do theater, you don't want to do song, you don't want to do art, you don't want to,
Yes,
it limits us. I'm not just telling you, I'm telling them too.
I'm just saying.
You have to realize what you're taking, okay? And it's the lesser of two evils. Music appreciation. He likes music, he's gonna try it.
Hopefully it's good.
Well, we can find out on episode 30 next semester. If you like it or not. The schedule is one of those things that you never really can do. But we've been talking about a plan, right? You always have to have a plan of where you're going. And we've talked about orientation, self-advocacy. And the question is, how do I get there? Well, we covered that in the heat map. So here's the heat map.
Here is the heat map for your own launch plan. Create a first month checklist. Include practical things like setting up your dorm, finding your classes, and locating the best dining hall. Attend the orientation events, even if they seem a little cheesy. They're designed to help you connect. Introduce yourself to your professors after the first class. A simple "Hi, I'm excited for your class" goes a long way.
That, I'm telling you right now, it really, really does go a long way, you guys, because I'm a teacher at the college, and I sent an email out there. Okay, let me back up a little bit. There's a new law that Texas put in, and they want the parents to be more aware of what the kids are doing, because a lot of kids just do things without even thinking about anything. So the bill made parents aware by getting permission to attend clubs and participate in activities and sports and everything. Sports, you always have to get permission, obviously, because there's health and safety issues there. But doing the permission slip, parents can say, I don't want my kid doing this, or I don't want my kid doing this. And one of the things that they give permission for is something of a sexual nature. So chapter 10 for me was gender identity and sexuality. The whole chapter is a landmine. And I was like, oh no, I'm not even going to go there right now because we haven't gotten guidance from the legal team yet. And I just said, all right, this week there's no assignment. Go work on your favorite chapter assignment or something, right? And I had one kid write me. He texted me because I give out my phone number to the students. He texted me and he tells me, I really appreciate you letting us know and taking away an assignment. Cool. It's not a big deal for me, right? But the fact that that kid sent me that message made me feel good. And I'll tell you right now, if he gets to that point where he's like a couple, 1 point away, 1.5, I might just give him those points. Is that fair? Because I'll do it for everybody. If they reach out to me, if they participate, if they do all their work, they'll get those extra points. If they don't do any of that, why should I give them extra points? Because they're not doing anything extra. And I always build extra credit into my assignments anyway. So, it's not like I'm giving away points. But when you have someone that's doing all their work and they're going above and beyond, you tend to be a little bit more lenient with them. But you also keep an eye on them and you can talk to them. And like when I was in class, I would sit there and talk to the students after class, and we would just talk about life and things like that if we had time to, you know what I mean? And it was cool. And those students, when they had a problem, they felt more comfortable coming to me. It wasn't like the first time they were meeting me. You know what I mean? They already knew me. They're like, hey, Mr. Murphy, I have a question. All right. So build that relationship with your teachers because you're going to have them again. Okay. And one of the things that you also will know is you'll go to a teacher and you say, oh, next semester I'm going to take calculus. And the teacher will tell you, don't take it with this person. See, because you have that relationship with them, they can tell you that. And they'll say, don't take the class with this person. I'm telling you right now. And then you have people like me who are so lenient. Well, I used to be a lot more lenient than I am now, but I just want the kids to learn. I hate the fact we have to test, right? If they're learning, they're doing their part. But how do I know this online? Since I started teaching online, I've had to do a lot more assignments and more testing and stuff because they have to show me they understand the material. And as we're doing this, they learn because they're having to evaluate what they're doing. So that's the interesting part for me. Okay, is seeing the kids write and their progression of learning. So if I was in person, it's a little different than it is, online. I'll tell you right now, I don't like online courses because you can just do whatever you want, whenever you want, right? But you got to be disciplined. And there's a course I want to take. Was it last year I signed up for the cybersecurity course? Yeah, right. Because my plan was over the summer, I was going to do two things. Learn Adobe and get certified in cybersecurity. And I started this podcast and my plan just went out the window. And, it is what it is, right? But you're able to do those things if you prepare for them. And talk to your teachers, interact with students, advocate for yourself, plan, all that, just same message over and over, right? But let's talk, we're going to come back from break and we're going to talk about what specifically we can do to change things. And so we're going to go to break and we'll be right back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
Justice Jackson, they captured Herman Goring alive.
Tell me about him.
He's the face of the Nazis. I'm going to put Goring on trial.
I thought escapes the hangman's noose. Very sure of yourself.
No man has ever beaten me.
Goring has to fall.
You don't just have to win, you have to be flawless.
You're walking into a trap.
Knowing what we know now, would you still follow Adolf Hitler?
Rated PG-13. Since November.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
At Military Broadcast Radio, the goal is to offer a platform for mental health advocacy while connecting the military community through various media platforms. Founded by U.S. Army veteran Joel Hunt, MBR gives a voice to veterans, first responders, and their families through streaming radio, podcast, video, and outreach events. With its leadership run completely by veterans and hosts of the diverse programming from all branches of service, MBR was created as a response to the silent battles veterans face after service. Military Broadcast Radio is also a Wreaths Across America partner, hosting a $5 back sponsorship group page. For every veterans wreath sponsored through the Military Broadcast Radio page, MBR receives $5 back to help support their platforms and outreach. Veteran and first responder stories need to be told and shared. And with your support, MBR can continue to bring together veteran nonprofits, mental health organizations, and government agencies to bridge the gap between veterans and vital resources. To find out more and donate, visit wreathacrossamerica.org/MBR.
Before we jump back in, a quick reminder of where to find us. For all the short clips and highlights, make sure you're following us on social media. You can find all the show details on our website, purehottakes.com. And for full show replays and exclusive premium content you won't hear anywhere else, be sure to subscribe at stream915.com.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
There's a hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. It's all inside, heaven and hell. What happened to that angel when he fell? Give it just one try, tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment, don't despise it. Adios, amigo, so glad I seen you. Step outside and breathe, play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move on from over there, get the kids a little scared. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo, so glad I seen you. I step foot in this town.
Before we jump back in, a quick reminder of where to find us. For all the short clips and highlights, make sure you're following us on social media. You can find all the show details on our website, purehottakes.com. And for full show replays and exclusive premium content you won't hear anywhere else, be sure to subscribe at stream915.com.
Thank you for coming back and joining us for our final segment. We've talked about the heat map, and now it's time to talk about the cautionary tales, the pitfalls you're going to have. That's what we call our section of where you will get burned.
In today's segment, where you'll get burned, here are a few pitfalls to avoid. Don't wait for comfort to find you. You have to step into discomfort. That's where growth happens. Don't try to just recreate your high school social life. Embrace this new chapter with fresh eyes. And do not avoid asking for help. Seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Asking for help can be one of the most difficult things you have to learn in life.
What I've been talking about. So the first thing you want to do to prevent yourself from getting burned and falling into those pitfalls and have issues is don't wait for comfort to find you. You have to step into the discomfort. I love that statement. Don't wait for comfort to find you. Step into the discomfort, because you have to accept your situation. There's nothing else you can do. We've talked about who moved my cheese. You have to go back out into that maze. Okay, that's where growth will happen. All right. You also don't want to just try to recreate your high school social life, because you can't. It's not the same. Going to football games is not the same as it was in high school, right? Next week is going to be NMSU and UTEP. That is going to be a really, really, really good game.
Hopefully.
And next week we're going to be recording a show sometime next week. So we won't be live next week, but we will have a recorded show for you guys. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But going to football games, it's not the same. For one, the walk is a lot longer to the stadium, right?
A lot
longer. You had friends who want to tailgate. You don't tailgate in high school, right? But one of the problems with that is people are drinking at the tailgate. Then they go to the game and they not really making the best decisions there,
Not really, but yeah.
But 2 weeks ago, I don't remember the college, there was a group of kids who took off their shirts and started twirling them in the air. Did you see that clip?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened? It grew and grew and grew until the whole section was topless, and there was, right? Did you know UTEP did that last game?
Yeah, I was there.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
That's not something you would do in high school, right?
No. We would do that sometimes.
So how did you feel about being involved in that? Was it cool? Was it just like awesome, or just,
it was hot?
Whatever? It's El Paso. It's a desert. It's going to be hot.
Directly under the sign, we're like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I hate about stadiums that are open air, like Sun Bowl. It's a beautiful stadium. I love the fact it's carved into the mountain. It's amazing. It is what it is. The sun shines on the Sun Bowl. And we want to go to the game on New Year's Eve. Right now, I'm not buying tickets because I never know what the weather's going to be. You might have a very mild day. You might have a partly cloudy day, which I really love, that little bit of cold, but it covers the sun. Or you might get a blizzard. And the game's going to be played no matter what. Yeah, no, it has to be played. It's a college bowl game. It has to be. There's no postponing it. It has to be played. It could be delayed a little bit, but it has to be played. So last year, I went on, I think it was SeatGeek, and I got us some tickets. It was the 50-yard line, because there was no one, it was a resale ticket, but 50-yard line right up in the middle, halfway through the stadium. And I said, this is a perfect seat for us, right? And the weather's going to be great and everything. When we got there, those weren't the seats. Do you remember that?
No.
We ended up sitting in the captain section.
Oh.
With
the suite, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, I got a really good ticket price. They just mislabeled it. So I think I'm going to do that again this year. I'm going to look for those seats and see if we can get those again.
How much was it?
Oh,
From
God.
what you remember?
I think it was about $130 a ticket with fees and taxes. And fees and taxes with Ticketmaster is some BS. I learned, okay, complete sidetrack. I'll come back to talking about where you're going to get burned a little bit. But I learned 2 things this week besides the healthcare. Vegas charges resort fees at their hotels. What are resort fees? They're the fees that you book on, say, booking.com or Priceline or whatever, and you get a price for the hotel. Then you get to the hotel and they charge you up to $50 or $60 a day for their amenities, like the pool. They charge you for that, right? And you're like, it's winter. I'm not going to be in the pool. But you know why they actually charge those resort fees? I found this out later. Because so many people are always looking for the better deal that the hotels are losing money. Well, not really losing money, but they're not making as much as they could because sites like Booking.com or Priceline or Expedia, or whatever, they have to pay them a percentage. So they're already getting cheaper deals, and then they're also getting having to pay for them. So the hotels are losing money. So they made the resort fees to find a way to recoup that money. Now, what's shocking is if I pay, like for the Bellagio, I could pay $1,500 for a week and get charged another $500 on resort fees. That's crazy. And then there's some restaurants that are giving you a convenience fee. It's a fee it's the biggest tax, and it's just a fee that they charge you. Has nothing to do with tip, has nothing to do with tax, has nothing to do with nothing. It's just, we're going to charge you an extra $5 on your tab, and you got to pay us. Now, you can always complain about those. So look at your receipts, read them, make sure you're not getting charged any of those fees if you go to Vegas. And like I said, a week at the Bellagio, where did we go, Con? Do you remember the hotel we stayed at?
The Four Seasons Hotel.
Half right. There is a Four Seasons Hotel, but it's not the one. It's the Four Queens.
The Queens, sorry.
Named after his daughters. And that hotel doesn't charge you resort fees. There's a few downtown on the Strip, on Fremont Street that do not charge resort fees. So be aware of that if you're going to go to hotels. I like staying on this. Would you rather have stayed on the Strip or at Fremont like we did?
Didn't we stay on the Strip?
No.
Four Queens was on the Strip.
No, it was in Fremont Street. Remember, it's covered?
That's the street. That's the Strip.
No, it's not.
What's the Strip then?
Okay. Vegas tip. Also, I'm going to become a Vegas insider here.
Okay.
We stayed on the Fremont Street, but we would take the bus, the Deuce, is the double-decker bus, to go to the Strip. Remember, it was about a 30 or 40-minute trip. You don't remember that? But you remember riding the bus.
Yeah.
Why would we ride the bus? Because we had to go from Fremont Street all the way to the Strip.
I don't know. You planned 10 days.
Shut up.
With events. So
did you have fun?
Yes.
You know you did. All right. But the bus took us from Fremont Street. It cost us about, I want to say we paid for the week's rental for $20, and we had transportation to the Strip and back from the Strip.
That's right.
Right? And that's how far away we are from the Strip. Plus the bus, has stops and everything. But I paid for a couple Ubers when we were just lazy and we were like, nah, we have a show. Like we'd go to the Strip come back at like 5 or 6 o'clock, and the show wasn't until 10 o'clock. So we'd come back to the hotel, chill out for a few hours, and then I took an Uber, right? Boom, right? So the bus is you can save money taking the bus. I'm telling you right now. And it's really not that big of an inconvenience. You just have to plan yourself accordingly, which again, we go back to planning, which I am good at, right? Anyway, I digress back to where you're going to get burned. So, like I said, don't wait for comfort to find you. You have to step into the discomfort. You have to live your college life. Don't try to recreate your high school life. And the last one is embrace the chapter with fresh eyes and don't avoid asking for help. All right. Fresh eyes is one of those phrases that you got to think about. If I tell you I went to college and I had the best experience ever, is that what you're going to be expecting?
No.
Why?
Because it might not be the same experience you had.
Very good. All right. You have to go in there with your own eyes. You cannot go in there and have people telling you, this is what I did. I never had the college experience. I never did. I never had the high school experience just because of the way I lived my life. I never went to high school events. I went to football games. I was part of the Rowdies, but that was just, what I like to do. But going to college and expecting the same experience someone had, I never went to a traditional college. Mine was all-night school, weekend school. I never went to an actual campus where I could join fraternities or clubs or nothing like that. And the advice I give everybody is to join that, not because I missed out on it, but that's just the better way to do things. Now, I went to work. I was in the Army. At one point, I was in the middle of a semester, and I got deployed to Somalia, well, between semesters. So I had to drop my classes, Things happen in the Army. But as you're doing this, right, look through fresh eyes. Don't expect the same experience as someone else. That's the first thing here, you guys. Don't expect the same experience as someone else, because you have to go in there with your own eyes and see it for yourself. And you cannot sit here, like we're talking about Vegas. Connor's like, you spend 10 days of activities. I see it very differently than he does, okay? As an adult, when he tries to do trips and he realizes how expensive trips are and how much planning it takes to have a good time and everything, he's going to be like, this is not what I want to do. So it's one of those things that you have to look at so that, it changes as an adult, right? Are we going to have the same experience if you go same way I did? No. You have to expect yourself to do something different, okay? So one of those things is fresh eyes. Go in there and don't let people tell you what to expect, because you have to be ready. If you have the plan and you prepare for it, right? Then you get to college. It's not that big of a shock because you prepared for it. Then you have your own experiences and you live life. So that's how you avoid getting burned, you guys. And let's talk about those specific things you can do in our section called heat shields.
Here are your heat shields. The Naked Roommate by Harlan Cohen is a hilarious and honest guide to college life. Create your own college launch plan template using a simple checklist. Use apps like Google Calendar or Notion to organize that critical first month.
Naked Roommate.
The book by Harlan Cohen, The Naked Roommate. That is one of those things that you might run into. You might run into a guy who has no problems walking around naked out of the shower or in his underwear or vice, you know what I mean? There's so many things you have to adjust. So that's why it's called The Naked Roommate. And it's a hilarious book. A lot of the anecdotes they have in there is really interesting. I love it. It's really cool. Create your own college launch plan. We talked about this. A template using a simple checklist. And the next step is use apps like Google Calendar and Notion. We're going to talk about this because last week I started talking about AI. And I talked about AI and I was talking about it, and all of a sudden my computer just disconnected from everything. And I was like, that's AI getting back at me, right? But let's talk about the heat shield, but we're going to talk a while about AI in our news section called The Digital Inferno. I love that visual. So AI. Let me get situated here.
Yeah, let me get situated.
He doesn't believe in AI. It's the future, you guys. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's the future.
I'm a computer science guy. I don't like AI.
Not yet.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Like I'll use it once in a while, but I won't use it for my daily basis every single day of my life, like my phone.
Have you ever heard of Otto? O-T-T-E-R, Otter?
An otter, yeah.
We're talking about AI.
Well, you said, have you heard of an otter? I'm like,
No,
yeah, I
I
have.
said, have you heard of Otto?
Otto or
No,
otter?
Otter.
No, I haven't.
Okay. You have that app, and if you're watching a video online or your teacher is talking online, it writes the notes for you.
Hmm.
All right. So that's helpful by itself because you've had to take notes. I'm sure you've had to take notes. Using an app like Notion, you can actually have it create processes for you, and it'll help you. Now, what's really cool about that is taking notes and reviewing them, summarizing them is all great. But here's what I think is funny. All right. If you're using Notion and you're writing the notes and everything, how are you supposed to study? Well, guess what? You can ask it to make flashcards for you, right? Flashcards. And give some tests, right? And before you know it, you have everything. And you can study, all right? I've told you before, and he's heard me, I have Gemini and Copilot, and I talk in the car to them, and I can ask it questions. And one of the things, like I said, in this new segments that we're going to be doing, not in the podcast, on our social media, is I'm going to be posting the clips of the week in my social media, so it'll recap it for you. And you'll be able to see what you missed here. Now, what's interesting about that is to watch the whole show, the edited show, no commercials or anything per se. You can go to stream915.com and sign up there for a free account. If you want to pay for it, go for it. It's $7.99 a month. Make sure you use the code MurphMan so I can get the referral for that, the credit, so to speak, because I want people to come in and say, hey, we're here because of you. So that's what I want. And when we're doing this, you go to Stream 915, you can catch the replays of all my shows, and soon you're going to see some behind the scenes stuff. Like one of the things that I have on there is the first week we talked with our nieces, the girls. We talked about the first week of college, and I had my nieces come in, and all three of them were part of it. You won't see that on any of my social medias. All right. You got to go to Stream 915 to see that. Also, with the segments I'm going to be doing some stuff there as well. So, check out stream915.com, and you can do that to be able to see my shows. Right now, you can find my replays on YouTube and everything because I haven't deleted them, but that's happening soon. So just want to let you know that. But AI helping you create tests. All right. What I was talking about last week was my coordinator at the college asked me to do more work. Not more work, more interactions for the students, more resources. That's what I was looking for. And as I wanted to do this, I had to find some videos. So I did a search on the internet, and I was like, hey, watch a video. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. I finally went to AI and I said, give me links for video. And Copilot did a really good job of that. It gave me actual links to videos, very relatable to what I was teaching. And I was able to put those links into my syllabus. Not directly, because the way it works, it doesn't give you the actual link. It gives you a way for them to click on their app to go to the link. So it doesn't always work the way you want it to. But you can do that. And as you're doing it, you can have it ask you questions. So I went and I had the video, and then I said, give me a summary of the video. And it summarized the video for me. So then I put that into the description. So this is what the video is about. You want to watch it yourself, go for it. And I have my video and I have the description linked into my syllabus and into my online course. So that I used AI for. I asked it to rewrite some of my questions because every semester I would change a few things because I want the people to repeat it, right? So that they'll just go, oh, these are what he's asking for. So every year I do a new test. I do new assignments. I change what I'm looking for and things of that nature. So AI helped me be better at what I'm doing. I told you about the segments I'm going to be working on. One of the things I'm going to be doing is, I call them niches, but there's like 7 areas of education that I focus on, 7 modules of my classes, and they actually go in order. Right now we're in episode 15, and I have 70. And different modules are, like we have, how can you do things in elementary to prepare for middle school? Then how can you do things in middle school to prepare for high school? Then how can you do high school for college? And now we're in the college and becoming an adult. So like 5 stages of development, so to speak, right? This is Murphman's 5 stages of development. Well, I have a niche that I'm going to be addressing every day. And I had this idea. So I said, help me here. And there's this website, not this website. What is a website? There's a girl on Instagram. Everyone's seen her, I'm sure, talking about how to improve your pages and whatnot. And what I did was, what she's asking people to do, she's giving you tips on how to do it, right? But she says, my company, my program, we can do it for you. We can edit your videos and everything. Well, I do everything myself, but I use AI. And I came up with the subjects for AI. They gave me some ideas. I picked the ones I wanted. I said, expand on these. They gave me some ideas. I changed what I needed to change to make it more Murphman. I got the hooks. And, what's really cool is if you say, give me some hooks, a hook would be a way to get attention, right? Give me some hooks. And it gave me 7 of them. And I said, I need more. And he gave me more. And then I edited those. And I had like 15 or 18. I'm like, I want more. And it gave me more. And it gave me more, And then I said, okay, great. You gave me all these hooks. Now, how am I going to use them? I don't know what it goes with. So AI said, I'll do it for you. It read all my sections. It went into my document, edited for me, and came out and was able to tell me, okay, section 1, well, not section 1, topic 1, part 1, here's your hook. Part 2, here's your hook. Part 3, here's your hook. Some of them were what they call hybrid, where I had 2 different hooks involved. Like if you do A, you're going to get B. And I started using AI to help me write those hooks and help me write my segments and whatnot. And it helped me. And how many segments did I tell you we wrote together? Well, not, I say we work together, like AI is a we. But did I tell you how many segments total?
I know it was double digits. Oh, I know it's double digits, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't. There was 80 of them. So technically, if you think about it, 7 segments a week, right? Those niches. And I have 80 episodes. So that's about, I can't do the math. That's 56. But I have 80. So if I have 80, but divided by 7, at least 10 weeks, 11 weeks of pre-written hooks and pre-written segments and everything. Now I just got to figure out how I'm going to film it. But I don't know how to do that. So guess what? AI, help me with this. Right? And it helps you. And if you're driving in the car by yourself, you can say, can we practice the hooks? Yeah, give me a hook. All right. And then I say, okay, here's how I would say it, and then here's, give me corrections, give me feedback. And it does. AI is very useful, you guys. I know he doesn't want to use it, but it is so useful. But there's been a study done that AI is making us dumber because we're not learning. And I disagree with that if you use it correctly, because I'm using it to learn. Like I'll say, there's a new concept. Tell me about it. Now, AI is not 100% yet. I get that. Nothing's 100%. that's why you have to go review everything. And what I do on my assignment, just so you guys know, is I write in white font so you can't see it. But I'll say, tell me how this applies to bananas.
What?
See, if you were listening and not on your phone, you would have heard that.
I'm doing notes. That's why. Sorry.
Notes for what?
Chemistry.
You're working on your homework right now?
Oh, I forgot about you. You reminded me of taking notes.
You forgot we were here working?
Yeah. You remind me of AI. I'm like, you said notes.
You just shut down.
And I was like, oh.
What I was saying was, in the assignments, I go and I highlight white font so you can't see it. And I say, how does this question refer to bananas? Or what part does bananas play in this or something? So then it's not the word bananas, but there's a word that I look for in the document. And if I find it, AI, no credit. It's that simple. Now, could they use AI to start it? I don't care. They used AI and they copied and pasted it, and it wrote about bananas all the way through the document. So it's not bananas. I asked it to do something else, but like, for example, have you ever heard of Freud? Sigmund Freud, the guy, father of psychology?
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I asked, tell me how his psychosexual stages relate to this assignment. So it has nothing to do with it. We're talking about industrial organizational psychology, and they talk about Freud and how you want to have, Oedipus complex, and you're interested in with your mom or whatever. Freud is just amazing, weird, but it works if you understand everything behind it. I'm just talking about general common sense stuff that people have heard about. It's not always about sex with your mom, trust me. But have you heard of that? The Oedipus complex? Like Hamlet, I think it was, that killed his father so he could sleep with his mom. No?
Hamlet?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Shakespeare's play. Yeah, it's Oedipus complex.
I didn't learn anything about Shakespeare. Shakespeare, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I said Shakespeare.
Who's wrong? So yeah, there's just really weird stuff in psychology, but I make it apply to everything. So as soon as I read Freud, I know they use AI, and I can read if they did it for the entire assignment or they just did it for one sentence or two or whatever. Like I've said, use AI to go in there and write something for you, and then you can edit it and change it and make it your own. Now, let me ask you this. If I'm doing AI and I say, AI, write me a paragraph about Freud, and then it writes me a paragraph, and I say, no, I want you to talk more about this and add something about this. And don't forget, I want to mention this. And then it rewrites it for me. Is that my work? Is that AI's work?
AI's.
But it's my brain. I just don't do the writing.
Well, but who actually looks up the information and writes it down and gives you a description of it?
Well, it gives me a outline, a template, but I go in there with my brain and what I know about Freud, and I go and change it to be what I'm talking about here.
Well, but you're not putting into detail.
Okay.
It's like a teacher, like, how can I say, gives you a topic, like, write me this. Like, what it's about, but are you the one writing? Like, give an explanation about it? No, the students are.
Do you have autocorrect on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you use Grammarly?
Not as much. I hate it. I'm trying to write something and then it tries correcting it, even though copy and paste, and then tries fixing it. I'm like, shut up.
It's helping you be a better writer.
No, not the way I want it to be. I'd rather just be me.
But that's Grammarly. So when you use Grammarly, is that AI writing? Yes. But it's actually an app for that. So the whole thing about AI is we talk about artists and musicians. You guys, any video, anything you see here was created by me and using AI. Okay.
Created by AI.
So right now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a video called Christmas at the VA. And I just want to show you this. It's a little long, so it's sort of like a little break I'm taking. But I want you to see Christmas at the VA. And this was all through AI, but I'm going to talk a little more about it. So here it is.
Welcome back to MBR Radio. We've got a festive show for you. Let's spread some Christmas cheer.
Hey, I just had an idea.
What's up, Beaker?
Don't stop pumping that iron. You have your AFPT soon.
Beaker remembered how last year they visited the VA home. It was their first year delivering baskets to the veterans who stayed at the veterans home. Beaker, DJ Ducky and Gamer all took a gift for them as well. They really enjoyed spending time with other vets. After that, they jumped back into the car and went to the children's hospital to take donated toys to the kids.
Every time I walk into this place, I remember Germany, stuck in that hospital, no family, nowhere to go. That's why I keep coming back, to make sure nobody here feels like that.
You've carried that memory long enough, brother. Today we carry these baskets instead.
And maybe a game of Uno or two. Beaker, you're not ducking out on me this time. I'm winning today.
Fat chance gamer.
I've got winner.
After that, Ducky and Beaker played in the snow and made a large snowball and rolled it down the hill. Beaker tried racing it on his sled and did not catch up to it, but he had a lot of fun. Ah yes, they had a very good time and were looking forward to doing it again. This year, the three amigos were all excited because they were going to go back to the veterans' home and give out baskets. They had their plans, busily wrapping up the baskets and baking some gingerbread men. They rested up a bit and read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" before going to bed. Things were really coming together and they got ready to head to the home.
Hi, we are here to bring the baskets and donation we have for the vets.
Just in time, we are just getting started. Come in. Donuts and cocoa, fresh from the oven. Trust me, powdered sugar is the best kind of therapy.
I'll take that kind of medicine any day.
We know this program's not easy. Some of you are fighting through addiction, PTSD, or just trying to rebuild life. But we see you, and we're here.
You think we're really making a difference?
Yes, even if it's just one smile, one laugh, that's how the healing starts.
We need to finish decorating this tree. The manager said they were expecting a guest.
At that moment, they heard a knock on the door. They wondered who it could be. To everyone's surprise, it was Brandon Stockley.
Heard you all were having a party without me. Let's fix that.
You don't know what this means, man. Thank you.
Looks like Beaker's not the only celebrity in the house today.
Hey now, I can't catch passes like him.
The veterans were opening their Christmas baskets and peeking inside. They saw shirts, snacks, resource cards, and little gifts.
Think of these cards as power-ups. You use them, you level up. Housing, jobs, support, it's all in there.
So
and the swag,
I told them,
that's so you remember
that's
you're
not
part
how
of
you
something
play the
bigger
game.
now. A family.
This was Chris's idea, my battle buddy. He always said Christmas was a chance to fight loneliness with love.
You okay, Beak?
Yeah, just remembering why we do this.
Everyone was excited. They took pictures, ate donuts, played games, and had smiles on their faces. They could hear carolers outside.
Deck the halls with bars of holly.
Brothers and sisters, you are not alone. These baskets aren't just gifts. They are reminders we're still your battle buddies.
Lean on each other. Share your wins, share your struggles. That's how we get through. And remember, it's okay to second guess sometimes, just don't quit.
Merry Christmas from Valor Point.
And with that, the MBR crew drove off into the snowy sunset, ready to serve smiles wherever they go. Thank you for watching this video. Come check us out at MB Radio, US. Merry Christmas.
All right. So you saw the video, Connor. It was 4 minutes long with
almost
my credits and everything, right? That video was made using AI clips that were up to 8 seconds long. But I didn't need the whole clip. I just needed a few seconds of it, right? And then I overlaid them. So you were able to see that. I made the background move. I had characters that I had to animate, and I went ahead and put them, like overlaid each other. And like I want this character jumping, so that character would be jumping while the others were standing there. So it was all overlaid, right? 4 minutes and 40-second total video, and it was made in seconds of increments. So think about that. 300 seconds, actually 280 seconds of video. And I did it with 2 and 3 second clips. And then a lot of them were overlaid. So like when the characters are moving, that was 3-second clips of each one moving. Mm-hmm. So you see that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the message. But I made that for military broadcast radio. And we'll talk about that near the end of the show. But I made that video, and people who are artists or musicians are going to be like, you're stealing from us because you're not hiring us to do that for you. And I said, no, it's my brain, Joel's brain, the guy who runs military broadcast radio, staying there twice a week, talking about this for hours and editing the videos and creating the videos and working on it and putting it together. If I didn't have AI, I would have never made the commercial. So you're not losing money if you're an artist or a musician, because I would never hired you in the first place. Does that make sense? And then I have my Axiom Media Group, and I have the Phoenix Productions, which is my editing. I have the Porter Studios, which is our studio here, which we are changing soon. We're going to keep the name Porter, but wait till you guys see the new video. If I can get the table I want, that's going to be so cool. And then I have Aztec Animations, which is what I call my animation studio. Those are, 3 different things that are part of the Axiom Media Group, because there's 3 different things that I'm doing. Joel from Military Broadcast Radio reached out to me and said, hey, can you help us with a video? And that's just one. I've made several videos. You can find them on my YouTube channels. But I made those videos using AI. And if you have like Google Vids, I have Workspace. I have a website. It costs me like $20 a month. I have that because I'm able to have a website and use Gemini and all that. But the Google Vids there's a storybook, and you can literally go in there and you can write your script and it creates the video for you. And then once it creates the video for you, you can go in, you can change the image, you can change the text, you can move it around. If you don't like this, you can add a video in, but it's a storyboard. And that's how I made the Make 22-0 again, the suicide awareness video. It was through a storyboard because I used a script from the song written by Ryan Spencer and performed by him to make that storyboard, and we're able to see it, So if I didn't have AI, none of this would be here right now, right? Think about that for a second. None of this would be here if it wasn't for AI. Did I take money away from artists and musicians when I made my song? No, I had to pay for that. I didn't pay a musician for it, but I have to pay for all this stuff. And someone says, well, why don't you just hire a musician to do it? Because it would be a lot more money. How come you don't have someone draw that for you? Do you know how hard it is to animate something, you guys? Again, we go back to my summer project of learning Adobe. I gave up on it. It's hard. I'm actually considering next summer taking classes on animation and graphics design and all that, so I can learn how to do this better. I haven't told you that, but it's something I want to do. As we're doing this, okay, and making these videos and improving them, I can give it a script and say, rewrite it for me so it makes sense, and it does. It's my words, it's just rewritten differently. It comes from my brain. you're still against AI. But, I just remembered. Something I have to tell you. Just remind me about December 1st. Can you do that?
When?
After we're done.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because I'm trying not to say it on live radio. December 1st, something's happening. I need to.
Okay.
Anyway, AI, there's some things you can use it for. I wouldn't use it for this, but like creating a recipe. I want to, people use AI as their search engine. It's not wrong, but again, we're, even going searching on the internet. Right now, one of the things I'm doing is I'm creating my sound effects for my segments that are coming up. I'm literally using an audio program that uses different tracks. Okay. The tracks are, again, they're layered. We talked about layering in video, but tracks are layered in sound. And I can have one beat on track 1, then one beat on track 2, then one beat on track 3. And I can create that with the band or the music that's in there in clips. There's like 280,000 clips you can choose from. And I'm using those clips to make a new song, to make sound effects, to do different things. And I'm learning how to use it. All right. But is that stealing from artists and musicians? I don't think so, because again, if I didn't have AI, I wouldn't even hire anybody to do this because I don't have the money to do that. I'm paying for the programs that they use to edit and do things, but I'm not actively using that, okay? So, sorry guys. So by paying for those programs, I'm using them like the Adobe. Do you know how much Adobe costs? Can you do me a favor and do a search for Adobe Photoshop and just how much does Adobe Photoshop cost? Let me see here so I can give you an idea.
It depends because they go by subscriptions.
Okay, that's another thing we're going to talk about. But just if I wanted to subscribe to it, how much is it?
Like the single app would be $22.99 a month.
Okay, $22.99 a month. Okay, that is $280 a year for one app, for one subscription, and I don't even own it anymore. I can get the Creative Cloud for the same price, and it gives me all the Adobe apps.
No.
Well, I'm an educator, so I get the discount.
Oh, well then. Yeah, you pay
the Creative
less.
Cloud is like $49, $50 a month.
It's 60 a
60
month.
now, it's gone up.
And then students and teachers with the discount would be paying like $20 for the first year.
Yeah. And what's funny is if you cancel during the first year, they charge you the full price. I found that out. But you're paying for the software that people use. If you want to learn how to use Adobe, the Creative Cloud is an amazing thing. It's a lot of money, but it has all the Adobe products together that you can use. Photoshop, Premiere Pro, oh my God, I don't remember all the ones. Anyway, it's every app that Adobe has. So it's amazing that you can do that. And what's really cool is if you're using Adobe Photoshop, we're talking about AI. You have to put videos in there and you have to edit them and you have to vector them, meaning when you expand them, they don't lose their quality, so they don't pixelate. So you can go into that and let's pretend I'm taking a picture of the studio here, right? And I don't like that picture. I can go in there, highlight it and say remove, and it removes it. Or I can go in there and highlight Connor's hair and say make him a blonde, and it does it for me.
Out of all the things, a blonde?
Yeah. It's because I saw a TikTok this morning. There's a guy who paid $2,000 for a haircut in Japan. And supposedly they do amazing stuff with his hair. But the first stage, they want to make it red, right? But the first stage you have to bleach it. So he takes off the foil from the first dye, and his hair is blonde as like all get out. and he freaks out. But you have to go blonde to make it red. You know what I mean? So that's why I had blonde in my head, in my brain. But as you're doing this, right, you learn how to use these programs, and you can become a graphics designer and do it for other people. All right. AI helps you do it in the app itself. But I'm paying $60 a month to have that app, you know? And it's one of those things when you think about it, like, is that what artists are using nowadays? And there's some people that can actually go and animate, they can draw something, put it into AI and say, draw something for me using this image. And it actually will create an image for you. Profile pictures, right? You've seen my profile pictures. AI. What?
Yeesh.
I think my AI pictures look pretty good. Not the one with the Denver jersey, but
any. I don't like any of those.
Shut up.
I didn't.
None?
None. Even the one you had on Instagram. Mm-mm.
Holding the beer in the microphone?
Oh, that one also, yeah. The one with your Rams jersey.
Right. But
you look like the old guy from Up if he was in like a weird animation.
I will agree with that 100%. But one thing that Connor knows, but he's probably forgotten about it, is I'm making a video of us talking to those ducks in that animation. So we're going to be cartoonized, animated. You've seen those, right? I showed you?
Yeah.
But I'm putting them all together to make the video that I want. So it's one of those things that it's actually going to be a video of us interviewing the ducks, going to our new studio. So that's just going to be a fun thing that I'm doing. But using AI, it can be used in so many different ways, you guys. Perplexity AI gives you Comet, which is a web browser that's AI powered. You have Gemini Pro. No, it's not Pro. But you get a different level of Gemini if you're a student or teacher, your education. If you're a student, you get 6 months of free Amazon. If you're a student, you get discounts on several things. So look at those and consider using that to get the discounted stuff so you can try some of this stuff. But AI is out there. Perplexity AI has that. There's AIs like Revoicer or Minimax that do voices. There's so many things. And I think about how I would use this in high school. If you're doing a presentation, right, like you had to do a PowerPoint or whatever, you could just do a whole video now. I think that's pretty cool. You know, so, you know, you can use it. And if you use Google Workspace, you get Gemini Pro on all your Google apps. So if, like at work, I use Google Apps, Gemini helps me in the apps. That's what's so cool about it, you know. As we're also doing this, there's AI can be used to give you recipes for Thanksgiving. Well, I wouldn't trust them so much, you know, but you can say, I want to make a Thanksgiving meal. What do you recommend I make? And Connor's, you're gonna have Friendsgiving, right? And he went to his friend and said, what should I take? And he said, a ham. So we're gonna make a ham, and you know, he is gonna make a ham, and then he's gonna cut it up and get it ready to go, you know. But if I was like, I have no idea, I've never done a Friendsgiving, I've never done anything, what should I do? And you ask AI, it'll give you everything. But it's making us lazy in a lot of ways.
I know.
Because we're not thinking, using our brain. I disagree with that. If you use it properly, it can help you be very creative. You know, one thing I've told people, I'm not creative. Like, creation is creating novel things, meaning new things that don't exist. To create.
It's called being original.
Well, yeah, but to create something, I'm not very creative. I'm not artistic that way. But I can take your work and make it better.
Yeah, no.
Okay. when I was in Cuba, I got stationed in Cuba for 6 months. I stayed on a cruise ship, and I played with the band, and I ran the club, and the drummer was trying to write a song, and he wrote the song, and then I remember the words. I went home, not home. I went to bed, and then I woke up, and I'm like, hey, maybe you should try using this. And here's another part of the song that something I would do here. Or when we're doing comedy, when I did stand-up comedy, people would write jokes, and they say comedians steal jokes, right? But it's because you hear a joke and you apply it to yourself. Okay? So stories and everything, you steal from other people.
I agree.
And make it yourself. But is that original? Because it's my own work.
Well, the joke isn't, because it's referencing something. Well, it's from someone else. But like the story in the background, like whatever you add on to it, could be your own if it's not already said.
I had a friend of mine that the first night we did comedy, I had a joke about sleeping with my maid when I was a teenager, my babysitter. And he had a joke that said, every time I smell pledge, I think of my maid. Well, my joke, before I even heard his, was I can't think about pledge without imagining her polishing my knob. That was my joke. But when he came up with his own joke, I asked one of the comedians, S3, Sean Scarborough, he's gone now, miss him. But I asked him, I said, I have a joke like that. How do I skip my joke, or do I write my joke? Because it's my original joke. And I told him the joke. He goes, that's funny, use it. Then I went up there and I said, now that I'm older, I said, I can't smell fabuloso without thinking of my maid. I changed the joke, right? Is that my original joke because I created it? Yeah. So it's the same thing with AI. You have your information that you put into it, and it spits out something for you. Same thing as original work. But creating something from nothing, that's, like I say, original has a different, it's the same, but it's different in my brain, because I can take something from you and make it mine, and that's my original.
But it's still referencing something else.
Yeah, but that's my original joke. Now, I use your joke.
That's like a sample. Like in music terms, that's a sample.
Okay, who do you think I am? Ava Max? Sampling everything? All her songs, if you guys listen to Ava Max, and all her songs are samples. I love her music though, right? You know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you think about it, creating something from nothing is really, really hard. Taking an original idea and making it yours, that's different. Taking something that doesn't exist and making it something like this podcast. The name, the logos, the theme song. It all started in here, but AI helped me make it better. And that's what I want you guys to realize as a college student. You can use AI, but don't let it do the work for you. It can help you, but you do it on your own. Okay? Right now, we're going to take a quick break, you guys. Give me a sec. We're going to do the wreath. Okay? And we'll be right back.
Welcome to Wreaths Across America, proudly partnered with Military Broadcast Radio. Walking through the cemetery, we are reminded of the profound sacrifices made.
Not every soldier resting here has someone to visit them at Christmas. They gave everything for our families.
Veterans fought for our freedom, for us to chase dreams and live the lives they never finished. This time of year, we honor them, one wreath at a time. It's about remembering their sacrifice.
How can you help honor these brave men and women? For just $17, you can honor a hero this Christmas. It might be the only wreath on their grave, the only thank you they received this season.
Make sure every veteran is remembered, not forgotten. Their service deserves our eternal gratitude.
Freedom isn't free, but remembrance can be accessible to everyone.
Join us in this meaningful cause to honor our heroes. Beaker invites viewers to help us lay wreaths for the ones who gave everything. When you buy a wreath, send Military Broadcast Radio a message. They will personalize your tribute. They'll provide a picture with a salute to your loved one and send it to you so you can still be there in spirit. Thank you for joining us in this important mission. Wreaths Across America is proudly partnered with Military Broadcast Radio. Help us remember, honor, and teach. Let our veterans' voices be heard, now and always. Thank you for your support.
All right, welcome back, you guys, for a final segment to finish up the show. Again, AI using storyboard and Google videos, just it's there. All right, it's amazing. By the way, Military Broadcast Radio. Military Broadcast Radio is a station that actually gives veterans a voice. At mbradio.us, reach out to us, contact us. If you're interested in doing a podcast and you're a veteran and you want people to hear your story, go out there, make a podcast. And you don't have to have any fancy equipment. You can have a laptop with a webcam, and that's all you need, right? Use Google Meets, Zoom. It's all free. Make an hour video and get started doing podcasts. To do all the stuff that I do and the production and the video editing and the soundboard, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. Would you agree with me on that, Connor?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do a lot more stuff than just talk here on online. But again, AI is something that you got to really embrace, and you'll see eventually, Connor. But right now, let's talk about the afterburn and how we're going to reflect.
I kind of forgot we had to read. Well,
okay. Well,
yeah.
So what am I most excited about in this next chapter of your life? Think about that, Connor. You started college. What are you excited about? Anything? He's such a hard person to talk to.
Well, I'm not excited about anything. That's one thing about I don't get excited.
You're right. You don't.
So.
But you ask yourself, where is my life going in the future? I don't know. What's the potential here? Yesterday, we're looking for a house, and they called me. They're like, "What area of town do you want to live in?" And I said, I have my preferences, but if I find a house that does what I need it to do, right, that'll be the house we can buy, because it's everything I want.
That we can, or that we're going to buy?
Well, we're going to buy. Okay. Also, your routines and habits. You did some in high school. Take all the positive ones and move into college. And what's the one thing you can do this week to feel more grounded and comfortable on campus? So what would you recommend on that, Connor? Like, what could you do if you don't feel comfortable on campus?
Talk to someone.
Well, yeah, but you can make friends, right? Where do you go
Not
to
if
make
you
friends?
get awkward.
Where do you go to make friends? On college campus.
Class.
Besides class, I'm saying there's a place you can go to meet other college students.
Instagram.
Discord. No,
I said
a
Instagram.
place on campus where you can go to
I don't
meet other
know.
students.
Anywhere. Doesn't mean you're gonna talk to them.
Where students come together
This is a lot.
and hang out. It's called the Union.
Or the Plaza, or Ujosi, or anywhere that has seats.
But the Union is where you can go downstairs and play video games, right? You can.
Ujosi.
Oh, both of them have it?
Union doesn't have.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Where?
On the very bottom.
Very bottom.
Yeah.
That's classes.
No.
That's theater. That's, yeah.
No, that's the other side. There's two halves of the Union. You got to go to this side. There's video games.
The left. The right.
Well, it depends on what angle you're looking at.
Okay, towards the street, towards Mesa.
Yeah, you're looking at Student Union.
You're going straight, like towards Mesa.
Okay, so
there's
to the left.
two sides. Yeah, left is the Union, is the west and east.
Okay, and in the building, if you're looking at it, the right side of the building, the right side of the Union over here. If you're looking at it this way,
towards where?
You're looking at Mesa.
Like towards
toward the building.
campus?
Toward the building.
This is towards the building.
Oh, okay.
West and east. It's two sides of the Union.
That's north and south.
You're
That's why I'm
facing
confused.
the building.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So there's a Union, right?
Yeah.
There's a walkway to the other side of the Union.
Yeah.
That's west and east wings of the Union.
Is that what they're called?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because you're actually looking north and south on the road runs north and south.
Okay. Well, you want to get typical? Okay.
Well,
where is it at? In El Paso. On campus.
Downtown.
Okay. You look
Central.
straight. Where are you looking at? If you look straight past the Union, where are you looking straight to?
The west side.
Sunland, yes.
Okay.
So then the east side, right? If that's north, to the right, over the mountain, northeast, right?
Yes.
So the Union, two buildings, east and west.
But
Because
the street you're on runs.
you mean the school?
The street you are on goes north and south.
Yes, north. But you said facing the building. That's facing
That's
the building.
East and west. Yes.
That's facing the building.
Okay. I was saying because you said Mesa's over there.
Yeah, Mesa
Okay,
Street
but I was
is
thinking
over
you
there.
were on the street looking like this way. That's another turn to the building, which is what you already
Turn
had.
to the building.
Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna cut this part out.
Okay. All right.
But as you learn how to use a compass. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
You know your phone can be a compass?
Yes.
Okay.
It has a compass app.
Yeah. People don't know that.
And you can just look at the maps.
Yes. And it tells you which way to go.
Or you can just tell.
Okay.
Whatever way's up is facing north.
I already forgot what we're talking about. Well, what's the thing you can do this week?
Where can you talk to people on campus? Is what you
And
asked.
the whole point of the student union is where you come together.
But you
That's what
said
I
to
was-
play games and then
When I was there, they had pool tables, they had ping pong tables.
Where?
I don't know if it's changed. But
West or east?
north. There's activities you can do with other students there. Okay.
Not anymore. It's all.
I swear to God, I'm gonna go.
You need to show me, or you need to tell me what room, and I'll go and check,
Okay,
and
I'm gonna
show
look
you
at that.
photos.
But there's places on campus that you actually can go and meet somebody, and that's the whole point about the union or the plaza or whatever, the Centennial Plaza. There's places you can go. Do that this week. Go meet people. Go make those friends. Okay. And now it's time for the final burn.
The final burn. The final burn for today is college isn't a test you pass, it's a world you build. Show up curious, stay grounded, and remember, confidence comes from doing the scary stuff anyway.
Confidence comes from doing the scary stuff anyway. That is such an interesting comment there. College is a test you pass. It's a world you build. Okay.
What it just said.
I'm reading it again. Okay, it's called summarization.
It's not summarizing if you're just saying word for
if
word.
I tell AI to read this, it's going to summarize it.
Yeah, but it's not going to say word for word.
But okay.
It's okay, continue. Sorry.
And stay curious and learn. See what's out there. But remember, it's not that big of a deal. You can enjoy life without having to stress as much. College is stressful by itself. You don't need to do more. You know. Your hair good?
No.
Such a diva over here.
No, it's because my friend said I have a bald spot. I'll show you right. I'll show you. But continue.
Oh, okay. Anyway, going back to this, stay grounded. Don't get too stressful. All right. You're supposed to be stressed. That's what college is about. One of the things for colleges is when you go apply, it's not about learning what you learned in college, because you'll go somewhere and they'll tell you, now you've learned it, here's how we do it. Okay. But when you go to an employer and say, I went to college for 4 years to get a degree, shows that you can stick to things that are difficult and not give up. That's one of those traits that people don't have. Okay. People don't have those traits. So you really want to be aware of all that. And when you do this, okay, you want to know, what's it called? Everything out there. Explore the world. Don't be scared to go out there. Okay? Try new things. Connor has always been a very picky eater. So what I used to do when he was younger, I'd leave him with babysitters that eat different foods, and it would force him to eat. Now he's older, he buys his own food. And there was something you ate the other day that I was like, you eat that? I don't remember what it was, but he's like, yeah, I do that now. And I was like, wow, okay. So his friends are influencing him to try new things, which I really like. But you do try new things. I can't think of what it was.
I don't remember.
But, going to a campus in another part of the country or another part of the world, if you're from another country to come here, or we go somewhere else, the food is different. When we went to Mexico, the food was different, right? When we went to DC, Atlanta, Georgia, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, we ate differently there than we did here in El Paso. Okay, because there's certain foods that are different. So go out there, try new things, and don't let the world consume you. Guys, that's it for today. We're going to go ahead and end the stream now. I want to thank y'all for listening. I appreciate everything you do. You guys, please reach out to us. If you want to, you can reach out to us at murphman@purehottakes.com. You can go to our website, purehottakes.com, and you can catch all the replays on stream915.com. Y'all have a good day.
Justice Jackson, they captured Herman Goring alive.
Tell me about him.
He's the face of the Nazis. I'm going to put Goring on trial.
Ever escapes a hangman's noose. Very sure of yourself.
No man has ever beaten me.
Goring has to fall.
You don't just have to win, you have to be flawless.
You're walking into a trap.
Knowing what we know now, would you still follow Adolf Hitler?
Nuremberg, rated PG-13, now playing only in theaters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the